Valdez into another good save. That's 3 or 4 he's made. And that Aguero volley, that was a difficult one. Must have taken a deflection on the way through, because it is going to be another Manchester City corner.
It is a corner kick to Manchester City. Outswinger from Navas, headed on by Fernandinho. It's heading towards goal, but very tame effort really. It's almost like a pass to the goalkeeper and an easy save for Valdez.
Yeah, again, not really testing Valdez, but we're going to have a look back at that Silva opportunity, I think, from just a few moments ago. Middlesbrough, they're very compact. They really are just nullifying their space, and it's scraps on.
In an off-grid village in England, there's a man everyone calls Clever Dick.
It's with Silva. Silva breaks into the penalty area, looking for a 1-2 with Aguero, but Callum Chambers steps in and clears that one all the way towards Claudio Bravo at the edge of the Manchester City penalty area.
Yeah, it's almost as if Manchester City are trying to wind up the gears now, aren't they? As we close down into the final 10 minutes before the interval, as Aguero, edge of the penalty area, turns. Really, really good play from Sergio Aguero. Lovely turn to get away from the Middlesbrough defence. In the end, his shot was
play a quick 1-2 with, he's got a bit of a cut there on his right thigh as Victor Valdez. I think we could see a bit of blood there on the top of the thigh, so I'm sure the physios are getting ready to come on. As soon as the ball goes out of play, they'll be Silva. David Silva keeping the ball on his left foot, back towards Navas, right hand edge of the penalty area. 2 players go to Navas, but he still gets the ball to Aguero. He's forced to just leave the penalty area to keep possession, and he goes back towards Fernandinho. Clichy square to Fernandinho, who shapes to shoot. Big deflection on the way out for a corner kick. We may get a stoppage now so that Valdez can be checked out.
Yeah, he's immediately signalling to the officials and he's sat down. Now, I don't know, to be fair to Valdez, I don't think he is arguing the case too much. Middlesbrough initially had the ball. They didn't realise he was injured, played on, so Manchester City perfectly within their rights to continue playing as well. It would have been a moment of controversy had Fernandinho's long-range strike ended up in the back of the net.
Yeah, let's just see how Navas does this, whether or not there's anything that Navas could have done differently, whether or not it's reckless from the Spanish winger. I'm not so sure he does anything wrong there, really, and I'm trying to see from that replay where the contact actually was. It says, oh yes, now we see, as Navas goes for the ball, Valdez gets there first, just chests the ball away, and as Navas was going for it, his leg does graze the top of the thigh, and we know that these the studs on boots these days, they're like little knives, aren't they? They can really slice through, and I seem to remember it was Rooney a few years ago got a really bad one against I think it was against Fulham, where Rodallega seemed to slice half his thigh in half. It was really, really bad, and Valdez looks to be in some pain there.
Yeah, nasty one. Completely unintentional, though, from Navas. Just the momentum of the 2 players. Navas, you could see him almost apologising in mid-air as we've seen the slow-motion replay. So nothing malicious in that. And Valdez very painful little sting. He'll need to certainly get that one wrapped up, but you'd expect him to be okay to continue, certainly for the next 5 minutes or so until half time. But if you're Manchester City, you're probably, the next thing you're thinking, get a strike on goal, just test his mobility out, because he is getting quite a lot of bandaging on that right leg.
He is, yeah, that could restrict him slightly. Brad Guzan, the Borough sub-keeper, is warming up just in case, although it looks like Valdez will be okay to play on, and I'm sure they might do some additional running repairs on him at half time. It's going to be an out-swinging corner from Manchester City from the left-hand side, and it looks like it is going to be David Silva to take it. It is a ball in from Silva towards the near post, over the head of the two players jumping for that one, and it's Darun inside the 6-yard box that clears that one from Middlesbrough back towards the halfway line. City had left 3 players back, and one of them is Clichy, just plays it towards Zabaleta on the right-hand side.
Let's suppose that you're writing a really important email to a colleague, or a post on Facebook that all your friends will see, or a paper for your English class that you just have to get an A on, or a resume for your dream job, or a message to your crush on a dating site. The point is that you write important things each and every day. And whether you're an English professor or an English learner, we all could use a second pair of eyes to help us make sure we're always putting our best foot forward. Enter Grammarly, a writing app developed by some of the world's leading linguists. Grammarly helps you find and fix grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors wherever you write. Errors that other spelling and grammar checkers just can't catch. Grammarly also helps you improve word choice and style, making your writing clear and compelling all the time. Best of all, it's free. Better writing, better results. Click on the button to download Grammarly now.
The box, but he just picks out a Middlesbrough player. I think it was Chambers that got the header away. Another chance for City though down the right-hand side. Stones was out wide this time. He plays it square to Gundogan, and Gundogan gets it back. He's got a couple of options down the right-hand side. One of them is Stones. Stones gets the ball back from Navas. Zabaleta again out towards the Navas on the right-hand side, and Zabaleta goes on the overlap, and Navas goes inside. And he's trying to involve a teammate, but eventually he has to go back towards the half line. Well, City don't mind just keeping possession. I mean, there were 2 or 3 occasions there where I thought they could have easily played the ball into the box, but they just chose to hang fire. I'll just get Tom sorting that in a minute, because there's a ball coming in from the right-hand side, and it's Sergio Aguero. Lovely ball from Kevin De Bruyne. Bouncing ball towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Aguero runs onto it, slams it in for 1-0.
Manchester City have taken the lead against Middlesbrough, and who else but Sergio Aguero has opened the scoring. It's been coming from Manchester City. They've dominated the match from the very first whistle without creating too many goal-scoring opportunities, but as the half has wore on, they've started to knock on the door a little bit more, and it's a touch of quality from Kevin De Bruyne that sets up the goal. He crosses from a deep angle with such whip and low trajectory into the box. It really takes the Middlesbrough defence completely out of the game, and there's Aguero 5 yards out, just hangs a left foot and guides it into the corner of the net. It's a good finish from Aguero, but really all the credit has to go to Kevin De Bruyne for that ball into the box. Fantastic Manchester City team goal, and as we close down on half-time, they deservedly lead Middlesbrough by 1-0.
Leading Borough by a 1-0, and as Tom was mentioning there, it definitely is a deserved result when you consider how much possession they've had, how many chances. As soon as that ball goes in, the whole Borough team put their hand up expecting, or at least asking the question about an offside, but there was no chance of that. And now with just over a minute to go in this first half, plus a bit of injury time, it is Manchester City that take the lead. And I suppose the question now is, what do Borough have as plan B? Because I'm sure they must have expected that there may be a goal to come, and once the goal has come, now they've got to try and think of a way to still get back into this game.
Yeah, they do. What is their plan B? It's a difficult one for Middlesbrough. They don't want to go too gun-ho, as we see Navas cross into the box, comfortable claim for Valdez. But the question is, when do Middlesbrough then change their tactic? At 1-0, I think they'll probably stick with what it is for the first 10-15 minutes of the second half. But the longer the game stays at 1-0, they're going to have to push out, they're going to have to throw more bodies forward, and that's when City, Pep Guardiola's side, are probably at the most dangerous.
That's when Guardiola's side really do go for the jugular when they can see the opposition are on the ropes. It's going to be a throw on to Middlesbrough, though, inside the Manchester City half. They'll be very pleased to at least have these few moments of possession away from their own half, just to see if they can send a couple of players further forward. Barragan takes the throw, looking for Negredo, but that's put out of play by Clichy. It will be another throw to Middlesbrough. They're getting closer and closer to the Manchester City penalty area. And it's Barragan on the right-hand side. Gets the ball to Traoré. He loses it though, and he seems like every time he loses it, he also hits the deck as well. Adama Traoré. It must be quite frustrating for his teammates. We saw in the first minute that already Antonio Barragan was having a go at him about that.
Well, yeah, if he goes to the ground, then it takes him out the game, doesn't he? So he's also lost the ball and he's not getting back to atone for his error. I mean, I'm sure most of the time, certainly, he can't help but go to the ground, but sometimes just fight that little bit more to stay on your feet, try and win.
Of the other the scores in the Premier League are Bournemouth 1, Sunderland 1. That's a half-time score. Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 0. That's also at half-time. West Ham against Stoke is 0-0, and they're a couple of minutes ahead of us, but they're still in injury time there. And of course, it is 1-0 to Manchester City in our game now after that recent goal from Sergio Aguero, who's certainly he's one of these players that he might have 5-6 games on the trot where he's not in form, but then eventually you know that there's going to be a performance from Aguero where he just breaks back in, and that was the case, of course, against Barcelona in the week.
It was, and then looking at this game, Manchester City weren't creating too many chances or really getting behind, but because they have Sergio Aguero up front, you know, all it needs is one half chance and they've got the goal they need, and that's exactly what's happened. It was very instinctive striker's goal from Aguero. He knew the space to run into. There was he just knew what Kevin De Bruyne
absolutely
was going to
and you could say it was instinctive from De Bruyne as well, because he put the ball into where he knew Aguero would run onto, and that's exactly where Aguero turned up. And here comes City again. That was a good ball in from Navas as well from the right hand side along the ground this time, looking for Sergio Aguero, but Ben Gibson did well there just to sweep that ball away towards the halfway line. Just a few seconds of injury time left in this first half as Stones passes to Fernandinho. Now it's with Kolarov on the halfway line, square to Gundogan. Now he finds Sergio Aguero, edge of the penalty area. Aguero goes out wide towards the right hand side for Navas, who goes for a near post shot. Kind of a funny way that the way that Valdez dived for that, but I think you could see he was going wide. In the end, it's cannons off the post and goes out for a goal kick. And I think that's it for this first half. It is. The referee Kevin Friend calls time on the first half here at the Etihad Stadium, where Manchester City lead Borough by a goal to 0, and we're back in 15 minutes.
Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box. Really dissected the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box. Really dissected the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box. Really dissected the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box. Really dissected the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat.
Sky
Half-time,
Sports
Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough
Your
0.
home
Manchester
of
City
cricket.
1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box. Really dissecting the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide off the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat.
Coleman's
Half-time, it's Manchester City
easy
1,
does
Middlesbrough
it.
0. Manchester City 1,
Good size
Middlesbrough 0.
rooms,
City
period
deservedly lead
features,
at
should get a
half-time.
great
Sergio
price.
Aguero,
I'll just
the
take
goal
some
scorer. Kevin De
photos
Bruyne,
and-
the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed
With
ball
fees from
into the box, really
£780
dissected the
and
Borough
no
defence.
commission,
And there was
Yopa's
Aguero
local
left-footed to
agents will
finish
help
from
sell your
5
home for the
yards.
best
City
price
were limited to
and
half
could save you
opportunities before
thousands.
scoring the goal.
We should have your
Aguero
property on the market by
himself
this
forced Valdez
afternoon.
into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and
What
Kevin
a
De
lovely
Bruyne
young
both shoot wide
man.
off the target as well.
No,
Middlesbrough
it's not YOPA. It's Yopa.
Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box.
Love
Really
your
dissected
music.
the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself
Love your
forced
colour.
Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide.
Love
off
your
the target
Skoda
as well.
Fabia.
Middlesbrough not offering
Mix it your
anything
way.
as an attacking threat. Half-time,
Skoda,
Manchester
simply
City 1,
clever.
Middlesbrough 0.
I saw the
Manchester City
postcode
1,
and I realised it
Middlesbrough
was
0.
us,
City
and it
deservedly
was
lead
just
at half-time.
utter
Sergio
shock.
Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the
Things like
architect
this
for the
do
goal.
not
A
happen
brilliant
to me,
right-footed ball into
and
the
it's
box,
just
really
life-changing.
dissecting the Borough defence.
You
There
move
was
into a
Aguero
house
left-footed to
25 years
finish
ago, little
from
did you
5
realise that
yards.
that house
City
was going to make you
limited to half opportunities before
£194,000.
scoring the goal. Aguero himself
Who'd have
forced
thought?
Valdez into a
Get
couple
your
of saves.
ticket
We've seen
before
David Silva
midnight
and
on the
Kevin De Bruyne
21st of
both shoot wide off
September.
the
It
target
was
as
my
well.
idea to do it.
Middlesbrough
Are you
not
going to share
offering
it?
anything
Yeah,
as
you
an
gonna
attacking
share it?
threat.
Are you going to share it?
Half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right.
Anything can happen when you're driving, but if you're with the AA, you'll never have to worry about a thing. We get more people back on the road than anyone else. The AA, because anything can happen.
The
Amazon Fire TV stick, probably the best thing to happen to this country ever. It gives you Prime Video, which means you get me, and then ITV Hub, All 4, BBC. In fact, it's so good, I decided to donate some to our old friends in continental Europe. Auf Wiedersehen! Forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Not offering anything as an attacking threat. Half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. Brilliant right-footed ball into the box. Really dissected the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed. 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide off the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box. Really dissected the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box, really dissecting the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box, really dissected the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box, really dissected the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box, really dissected the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish
Have you ever
from
looked for a
5 yards.
hotel
City
online?
were limited to half
Did you notice that
opportunities
there are so
before
many
scoring the
different
goal.
prices
Aguero
out there for
himself
the exact
forced
same
Valdez
room?
into a couple of
Trivago
saves.
does
We've
the
seen
work
David
for
Silva
you
and Kevin
and
De
instantly
Bruyne
compares
both
the
shoot wide
prices
of the
of over
target as well.
600,000
Middlesbrough
hotels
not
from over
offering
200
anything
different
as an
websites.
attacking threat.
So instead of
At
searching for
half-time, it's
hours of
Manchester
spending
City
too
1,
much,
Middlesbrough 0.
Trivago makes
Manchester
it easy
City
for
1,
you to
Middlesbrough
find
0.
the
City
ideal
deservedly
hotel
lead at
for the best
half-time.
price.
Sergio
Just go to
Aguero, the goal
Trivago,
scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the
type in where you want
architect
to go,
for the goal.
and
A
with 2
brilliant
clicks,
right-footed
select
ball
your check-in
into the box, really
and check-out
dissected the
dates
Borough defence.
and
There was
search.
Aguero left-footed to
It's that
finish
simple.
from
Trivago
5
searches
yards. City
hundreds of
were limited to
websites
half
at the same
opportunities
time
before scoring the goal.
and
Aguero
shows you the
himself
most
forced
popular
Valdez
hotels.
into a couple of
You can
saves.
adjust the
David
price
Silva
so that
and
it
Kevin De
fits in with
Bruyne
your
both
budget,
shoot
or
wide
select
of
the
the
number
target
of
as well.
stars,
Middlesbrough
or
not
filter
offering
by average
anything
guest
as an
ratings
attacking
from over
threat.
100
At
million
half-time, it's
reviews.
Manchester City 1,
Remember,
Middlesbrough 0.
Trivago
Manchester
shows you
City
all
1,
the different
Middlesbrough
prices
0. City
for the
deservedly
exact
lead
same
at
room.
half-time. Sergio
And that's how you can be
Aguero,
sure
the
that
goal
you
scorer.
find your
Kevin De
ideal
Bruyne, the
hotel
architect
for the
for
best
the goal. A
price.
brilliant right-footed ball into the box,
Hotel,
really dissected the Borough
Trivago.
defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box, really dissected the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right-footed ball into the box, really dissected the Borough defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide of the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer.
Providing life-saving
Kevin De Bruyne, the
food and
architect
clean
for the
water
goal.
to
A
desperately
brilliant
hungry
right-footed
children.
Let's suppose that you're writing a really important email to a colleague. Or a post on Facebook that all your friends will see. Or a paper for your English class that you just have to get an A on. Or a resume for your dream job. Or a message to your crush on a dating site. The point is that you write important things each and every day. And whether you're an English professor or an English learner, We all could use a second pair of eyes to help us make sure we're always putting our best foot forward. Enter Grammarly, a writing app developed by some of the world's leading linguists. Grammarly helps you find and fix grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors wherever you write. Errors that other spelling and grammar checkers just can't catch. Grammarly also helps you improve word choice and style, making your writing clear and compelling all the time. Best of all, it's free. Better writing, better results. Click on the button to download Grammarly now.
665-665 or search Bupa Family for more information.
The goal scorer, Kevin De Bruyne, the architect.
I am King Ezekiel. Welcome to the kingdom.
The box really dissecting the forward defence. There was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide off the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat. Half-time is Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. Brilliant right-footed ball into the box, really dissecting the forward defence. There was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunity before scoring the goal. Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne both shoot wide off the target as well. Middlesbrough not offering anything as an attacking threat.
Easy does it.
Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Good sized rooms, superior features, should get a great price. I'll just take some photos and...
The goal scorer, Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for
With fees from £780 and no commission, Yopa's local agents will help sell your home for the best price and could save you thousands.
You should have your property on the market by this afternoon.
What
a lovely young man.
No, stop it. It's not YOPA. It's Yopa.
At half-time, it's Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time. Sergio Aguero, the goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, the architect for the goal. A brilliant right
Love your music.
Into the box, really dissecting the Borough's defence. And there was Aguero left-footed to finish from 5 yards. City were limited to half opportunities.
Love your colour.
Aguero himself forced Valdez into a couple of saves. We've seen David Silva and
Love your Skoda Fabia.
Off the target as well.
Mix it your way. Skoda, simply clever.
I saw the postcode and I realised it was us, and it was just utter shock. Things like this do not happen to me, and it's just life-changing. We moved into a house 25 years ago. Little did you realise that that house was going to make you £194,000. Who'd have thought?
Get your ticket before midnight on the 21st of September.
It was my idea to do it. Are you going to share it?
Are you going to share it?
Are you going to share it?
As an attacking threat. At half-time, it's Manchester City 1 and Middlesbrough 0. Manchester City 1, Middlesbrough 0. City deservedly lead at half-time.
Hi there. Hello there. Yeah, I've lost my keys.
Right, we'll just draw that.
Anything can happen when you're driving, but if you're with the AA, you'll never have to worry about a thing. We get more people back on the road than anyone else. The AA, because anything can happen.
The Amazon Fire TV stick, probably the best thing to happen to this country ever. It gives you Prime Video, which means you get me, then ITV Hub, all for BBC. In fact, it's so good, I decided to donate some to our old friends in continental Europe.
So, Manchester City will be content with that score, and they'll be looking to add to that in the second half. It'll be interesting to see them very defensive throughout that first period. Do they stick or do they twist, and when? If they do either of that, do they do it? But Manchester City immediately trying to get on the front foot.
That one from George Friend was less of a clean tackle than the one in the first half. I think you just about give him the benefit of the doubt there, but that was a very physical challenge from George Friend.
Yeah, it certainly was. Zabaleta with possession for Manchester City goes across now towards Alex Kolarov, who's got time to stride the ball forward towards the halfway line.
Scrolls into the feet of Gundogan. I don't think Gundogan wanted it there. He's got Adam Clayton biting at his heels. Clayton nipping in and actually gives away a free kick. So first chance for a set piece for Manchester City to get the ball forward. Although as I say that, they take it short. Gundogan to Clichy. Now back with Kolarov, who just flicks it back in towards Ilkay Gundogan once again. Middlesbrough just trying to press City perhaps a little bit more than they were in the first half. Stones on the halfway line for the home team. He's got Zabaleta out on the right hand flank. We've seen a graphic at half time, and Pablo Zabaleta's had a position more of a right. Idea from Negredo. Bravo just about does enough.
He's on the half. He's actually in the centre circle when he strikes that one. Negredo. He's an absolutely. It's a fantastic effort, really, and you always felt as though the goalkeeper should be able to make the save. Bravo made a comfortable save. He fell into the net afterwards, but the save itself was a comfortable one. It's the first corner kick for Borough, and it's an outswinger.
Yeah, it's a ball out towards the edge of the penalty box. Just scrambled half away by Manchester City. Comes out to the right-hand side where De Roon sends it back into the penalty area. Fernandinho then half scrambles it clear. It's Forshaw trying to break into the penalty box with the ball. Stones then comes across, and for the first time in the game, we're seeing Manchester City have to do some very hurried defending.
Yes, a quick challenge, a quick clearance, just anywhere will do there for John Stones, and just goes to show it was this all comes from a mistake on the halfway line by Fernandinho. Had he not misplaced that pass, Negredo wouldn't have had the shot, Borough wouldn't have had the corner, and City wouldn't have had this quick bit of defending to do. But they try and clear their line, City, and they lose possession on the halfway line, and Borough still have it.
Yeah, it just shows Manchester City 1-0 up and seemingly cruising, but they cannot take their eye off the ball, let their intensity drop, because Middlesbrough do have players who can threaten. Traore, Negredo, as he's just showing, and if they are allowed little opportunities like that, then certainly that'll boost their confidence and boost their belief that they can force their way back.
Strength is making my daughter proud of me.
Strength is not letting others define me. Strength is discovering a hidden talent.
Tell us what strength is to you for the chance to see your tweet on our billboard in London Waterloo.
Borough something to work with. It gives Borough that encouragement that if they can get a bit of possession inside the City half, they can cause problems, and they go again now down the left-hand side.
Yeah, Stuart Downing, a good ball in towards Adama Traore, who's allowed to turn on the edge of the penalty area, finds Forshaw in all kinds of space. Forshaw drives towards goal. Great save from Claudio Bravo, but what an opportunity that was for Middlesbrough. Adam Forshaw looks to the skies, but where was the Manchester City defending? Great composure from Traore, picks the burst into the penalty area. I don't know where the Manchester City defending went, but Forshaw was allowed into the box, and credit Bravo.
Strength is making my daughter proud of me.
Strength is not letting others define me. Strength is discovering a hidden talent.
Tell us what strength is to you for the chance to see your tweet on our billboard in London Waterloo.
really struggled to get out of their own half at all. And Claudio Bravo only really had to make a couple of clearances, but he's been forced into action already in these first 6 minutes. As we just see a replay of that last move from Traore. Did really well actually to take the ball off Aguero, and then started to get out of his own half before he was eventually fouled, and it was a free kick in Middlesbrough's favour. And now it's a long ball from Clayton towards the left-hand side.
Good ball out towards Downing, whose touch just let him down ever so slightly, allowed Zabaleta to nip in and put the ball out of play for a throw-in, but already Middlesbrough started to just have a little bit of sustained play inside the Manchester City half, and certainly seeing more of the ball in the opening 5-6 minutes of this second period. Victor Valdez, their goalkeeper, who appears to have recovered from that nasty gash he got on his leg in the first half, sends the ball out to the Middlesbrough right-hand side. It's City, though, who emerge with the ball. Kolarov, loose pass inside, but there's actually been a free kick given in the build-up, and a yellow card as well to Adam Clayton for that latest challenge on Silva, who's just clutching the back of his ankle there, and it was late. He does go through the back of David Silva.
It is, and then he sort of just he rakes the right leg there as well as he gets up as well, so it would have been doubly painful that for David. So that's not a good challenge from Clayton at all, and I think to most referees at any time of the game that would have been a yellow.
Yeah, Clayton joined Forshaw in the book, so two Borough defensive midfielders, if you like, in the book. That could be something to watch out for, particularly as tired legs and the game starts to become stretched as this second half develops. But for the time being, they're just on yellow cards, and Manchester City looking to come forward. Silva into the feet of Stones. Now it's a Clichy just switches it across to Fernandinho. Again, familiar pattern. Manchester City with just about all their outfield players in the Middlesbrough half. De Bruyne now down the right-hand channel. He's got George Friend for company, so has to go back towards Zabaleta. Now infield towards Fernandinho. He's had a couple of sighters on goal in the first half. He resists that temptation and goes back out to Navas. Now Fernandinho once again. This time a sweep across towards Gael Clichy. He then digs the ball back across to the right hand side. Good pass as well to Navas, who resists the temptation to cross early. Then De Bruyne does. But for once, Kevin De Bruyne's delivery isn't up to scratch.
Just rushed it there, didn't he? He didn't really think about where his teammates were. Just swiped at it with the right foot, and it was over everybody and out for a goal kick. Very uncharacteristic there from Kevin De Bruyne, because there were a couple of options. If he just took a touch and looked around, he could have picked out a teammate. But Aitor Karanka still not too much emotion, but he's just pacing around a little bit more now, because I think he can sense that his side have just rattled Manchester City a little bit.
Yeah, both managers are prowling at the edge of their technical area, not particularly saying very much, but making their presence felt, you would feel, as Middlesbrough look to try and force the ball forward down the right-hand side. Traore gets it under control, but a loose touch allows Gael Clichy to nip in, and it actually goes out of play for a Manchester City throw-in in front of the two managers. So certainly a brighter start to this second half by Middlesbrough. Manchester City yet to really hit full gear. They were just really bubbling under the surface nicely as that first half wore down. They got the goal as well from Sergio Aguero, but starting this second period a little bit cold, as the ball from Clichy just about sums that up, that throw, and he gives it straight to Ben Gibson, who sends it long up towards Negredo. He's beaten in the air by Kolarov, but the pieces are picked up by Martin de Roon, who wanted that ball a little bit more than Kevin De Bruyne. He brings Friend into play. This time De Bruyne does come across, nip the ball back and puts the ball out of play for a throw-in. But it does feel like the game's more of an even contest in this second half.
It does. It just feels as though Manchester City are having to pay Middlesbrough a bit more respect, because Middlesbrough have shown over a period of just a few minutes, in fact, that they can cause problems to City. Although, just as I say that, Borough have lost the ball on the halfway line, but Gundogan's pass to try and get De Bruyne through was too long, and it's cleared by Valdez.
Yeah, we mentioned that in the first half. If Middlesbrough do come out like they have done at the start of this second half, that could spell danger of its own, with spaces in behind. City certainly have the players capable of exploiting any mistakes in the Borough back line. Incidentally, Sunderland have had a man sent off away at Bournemouth. So
yeah, well, our colleague doing that game in our neighbouring studio was saying that actually Sunderland missed 3 great chances after they equalised, so that could be a bit of a dent for their hopes in that game, because they looked as though they might go on and win that, but now down to 10 men. The referee thought about playing an advantage, but he's decided this is going to be a free kick to Borough straight away. That was a strong challenge there from Gundogan, and this is going to be a free kick.
Building websites can be exhausting and very complex. It doesn't have to be. At One.com, you will create a stunning website, which does not require any coding. It even allows you to install WordPress with a single click. At One.com, you choose your own domain name and an unlimited number of email accounts. Start creating your own website with our easy-to-use web editor. You can also store and share files in your own photo and video gallery easily and securely. One.com has high stability and lots of space for a very low price. With more than 1 million customers enjoying our superb service, we believe we have the best web hosting bundle for you. One.com, web hosting made simple.
Of course, remembering their former player there, Alvaro Negredo. Oh, is he offside there? I don't think he is. I think he's level with Gael Clichy there. I would say maybe it was Kolarov who was just coming back on that left-hand side. But in any case, I wouldn't have said he was offside there.
No, it's just about level, isn't he? And you do like to see the benefit of the doubt given to the home teams. He missed the chance anyway, but then he'll argue he only heard the whistle.
I think that the days of the striker getting any benefit of the doubt with offsides, I think, is gone, because now that even a sleeve or a hand can be offside, I think that linesmen are just eagle-eyed to try and spot anyone that's offside.
Manchester City still shading the possession in this second half, but as I mentioned, it does have a more even feel. As I say that though, De Bruyne coming forward for City, his cross in towards the side net and didn't take a deflection on the way through, so it'll just be a goal kick to Middlesbrough. No further goals in any of the other Premier League games that kicked off at 3 o'clock. Bournemouth 1, Sunderland 1, Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 0, and still goalless in the match between West Ham and Stoke. Just wondering when or if Middlesbrough or Manchester City look towards the substitutes bench. I think Aya Karanka, he'll be perfectly happy with the way his side has started this second half, and he'll probably stick with that 11 for a while longer. But could you see Manchester City perhaps shifting things up?
Well, they've got, in terms of attacking options, they've got Nolito, they've got Leroy Sané, they've got Kelechi Iheanacho as well. So they have got some options, Manchester City, if they want to try and mix it up a little bit. The question, I suppose, would be, out of the players on the pitch now, who would be the first to be sacrificed?
Yeah, that'll be a difficult call for Pep Guardiola, but they do have pace in abundance, which could have a huge effect on this game in the latter stages. We see Navas' attempted switch from right to left, cut out by Barragan for Middlesbrough, and that's a good ball down the line from Forshaw to try and use Adama Traore's pace. He tries to get in behind Kolarov, and Alex Kolarov did a really good job there against Adama Traore. He knew he didn't quite have the legs to keep up with the wide man necessarily, but he used his body, used his strength, and ushered the ball behind for a corner.
He did, and he was forced into doing that as well, Kolarov. Middlesbrough were sending players forward. They've only got they've got 5 players coming into the penalty area now, Middlesbrough, so they're going to try and load up the box, put a bit of pressure on Manchester City.
Yeah, it's a chance now for them to get the likes of Gibson and Friend forward from the back, and Callum Chambers might come up as well, but they're kind of quite a big physical team, Middlesbrough, so it's an opportunity. Clayton, though, takes the corner initially short and then goes out towards the edge of the box where there's a chance of a strike on goal. It's taken there by Barragan, I think, but it's deflected all the way out now to Callum Chambers on the right-hand side. His cross takes a deflection. I think Chambers was offside. That's a waste.
That is a waste, because that ball was going out for a corner kick, I thought. I don't think it needed Chambers to have a touch on that. Let's just see if, as this shot's made by Downing, Chambers is yards offside, but that there's no Man City player getting anywhere near that. Chambers has basically saved City from having to give a corner kick away.
Yeah, not the cleverest piece of play there from Callum Chambers, not aware of his surroundings necessarily, and a half opportunity for Middlesbrough goes begging. Crystal Palace have pulled one back against Burnley. It's Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 1 now in that game. Manchester City not really out of second gear at the start of this second half. De Bruyne has still seen a lot of the ball, goes infield towards Fernandinho, who turns it back down the corner towards the left-hand side, but now it's Sergio Aguero's turn to be caught offside, and he kicks the ball away in frustration. I don't think the referee was looking there, but it's unnecessary from Aguero.
It is unnecessary. There's 59 minutes gone, so I suppose you would say it's not... You couldn't say straight away that it's him time-wasting or showing his frustration. He could have just been playing the ball back to Valdez, who may have wanted to take that free kick anyway. But if the referee was looking straight at that, he would have had a question to answer there, I think.
Yeah, certainly signs of frustration. Aguero hasn't been involved anywhere near as much as he was in the first half at the start of this second. And
you have to say there's less of the ball near the Borough penalty area in the second half, and they're trying to get forward again now, the visitors, but the ball is cleared back towards the halfway line. Barragan's header towards Traore. If he can keep it in play, he can't. But there is just a little bit more spark about Middlesbrough now. They just feel as though they can commit that extra midfielder forward and just try and push at Man City.
Yeah, there's just going towards the second balls. It's a little bit more competitive, higher up the pitch, if you like. But who were good, disciplined defensively throughout the first half, but never really had that bite beyond the halfway line, which they're starting to show. And of course, with a couple of efforts on goal from Negredo and Forshaw, just forcing Manchester City to do a little bit more thinking than they were in the first period as well. As we see Aguero, that's a fantastic run from Sergio Aguero. He's still going 3 or 4 challenge, fantastic strength. In the end, he does a little bit too much. That allows Chambers to come back and win the free kick, but somehow the ball just stuck at his feet there. I think that was all his pent-up frustration from the previous offside coming in a positive way.
Absolutely, he picked that one up really deep, didn't he? Got all the way to the penalty. Then in his frustration after losing the ball, he gave a free kick. I mean, he was fouled there by Chambers. It was an attempt at a foul from De Roon. Clayton very nearly got near him. Barragan couldn't challenge him. Then Clayton came back and dispossessed him, and then the referee decides that there was a very slight foul from Aguero, which I'm not so sure that there was really.
Yeah, I think it was about 5-1 in fouls by Middlesbrough before Aguero did anything. That's a little bit soft from the referee. Much easier, of course, to give the free kick to the defensive side than the attacking side. But well played there, Aguero, breaking forward, just showing what he is capable of when he gets the ball at his feet. As Middlesbrough take the resulting free kick up towards Negredo, it breaks though now for Gundogan, who finds that man Aguero again. Again, he's driving forward at the Middlesbrough defence, uses De Bruyne this time on the left-hand side. He sweeps it from left to right, lovely weighted pass out to Jesus Navas, who's hugging the touchline and now looking to run at George Friend. Early ball into the box, headed clear by Gibson. Zabaleta will retrieve the pieces though for Manchester City, and he just rolls the ball into the feet of David Silva, who's popped up in a more central position momentarily. He exchanges passes with Fernandinho. Middlesbrough, more the theme of the first half, everyone behind the ball at this moment in time.
Let's suppose that you're writing a really important email to a colleague, or a post on Facebook that all your friends will see, or a paper for your English class that you just have to get an A on, or a resume for your dream job, or a message to your crush on a dating site. The point is that you write important things each and every day. And whether you're an English professor or an English learner, we all could use a second pair of eyes to help us make sure we're always putting our best foot forward. Enter Grammarly, a writing app developed by some of the world's leading linguists. Grammarly helps you find and fix grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors wherever you write. Errors that other spelling and grammar checkers just can't catch. Grammarly also helps you improve word choice and style, making your writing clear and compelling all the time. Best of all, it's free. Better writing, better results. Click on the button to download Grammarly now.
Clichy, but second balls again. Middlesbrough picking them up a little bit more. Barragan drives forward. Traore has the ball. He ignores Barragan's good run down the right-hand side. Goes more into congestion in the middle, and now City pick Adama Traore's pocket, and he's a little bit fortunate. I don't think he's going to pick up a yellow card because he pulled David Silva down.
Referee, is he going to show him a yellow card? I don't think he is. I think he's probably just about got away with that one, Traore. I think if Silva already got into his stride and was getting away from him, I think if he'd have stopped him then, he probably would have got a yellow. But as Silva was only just picking the ball up, maybe the referee gave him a slight benefit of the doubt. Guardiola, he'd like to see City score a second goal, because I think that Middlesbrough have shown in this second half that they are capable of causing some problems, and a 1-0 lead against anyone is always a little bit of a flimsy lead, really, isn't it?
Yeah, there's an element of nervousness about Manchester City. They still seem in control, but they are very much wary of the threat that Middlesbrough do possess. As De Bruyne comes back infield to Clichy, Fernandinho plays it up towards Silva. Silva round the corner towards De Bruyne, who's now looking to run.
Hi guys, it's Candy. I've invited some friends to come over and teach us cool stuff that I think you are going to love and get inspired. My good friend Sharzad is coming over, and she's bringing some really weird and crazy beauty products from around the world that we're going to try out. Sharzad! Hi, Candy! And baby, how are you? You look so beautiful. Let me help you.
Thank you.
You're pregnant.
You smell like an angel.
Thanks, it's actually my deodorant.
So, you know I love to travel.
I do know you love to travel.
And I've been lucky enough to go to a lot of different countries. Since I can't travel too much right now because I got a baby in my belly, we're gonna take a little beauty trip around the globe today.
Perfect.
First, we're gonna go to Brazil.
Yeah, let's go.
And then we're gonna hop on over to Korea.
And then we're gonna be jet setters in a minute.
Way to Japan.
Perfect.
We're going on a trip. Get your passports ready, everybody. I thought we could start in Brazil. When I was there, I noticed that a lot of women would just like exfoliate their bodies with sand from the beach.
What?
And I thought it was like kind of genius. Yeah. And I started doing that. But a little fun DIY that people can do at home if they can't go to Brazil or they're not near any sand is to make a sand exfoliator.
Ooh.
Which is really fun. So you can get sand from a craft store.
Awesome.
Add a little coconut oil.
Yeah.
And then any kind of essential oil that you want, and you have your own little, you know, kind
like
of
a tropical vacay scrub.
Yeah. This is coconut oil.
Okay.
It has been liquefied.
Okay.
It's virgin. So like a half a cup of sand, but I like to eyeball. Eucalyptus.
Okay.
Or...
Ooh, wait, am I picking a scent?
Yeah. Lavender.
Let's do eucalyptus.
Oh, this smells good. So will you be my Vanna White and stir it?
Of course I will.
Okay.
Ooh.
It does
smell good. Okay, now what do we do?
Okay, so I would take a little bit of this.
Yeah.
And I like to just, it feels so good. Because the coconut oil is just gonna be so hydrating. You know, the sand is gonna help get all the dead skin off. And then the essential oils are just mostly, in my opinion, for like a little bit of soothing and
smooth.
Yeah, and it smells really good. But here, get in there.
Okay, this feels like really good.
Doesn't it feel invigorating?
Like a good cuticle treatment, right?
Yeah. So Candy, did you have fun in Brazil?
I did. Where are we going to next?
So Korea has so many exciting beauty trends right now. So these are silkworm cocoons. When you get them wet in hot water, they work really well as a facial exfoliator. We can soak them.
Okay.
Boiling hot water.
You soak them for how long?
A couple of minutes, like 3 to 5 minutes.
Are they gonna melt?
They're gonna just get like moist and ready for exfoliation.
Okay.
Something that might be a little bit easier and maybe less intimidating and weird to try at home.
Okay.
Parsley.
I know it like purifies things.
Purifies, it's good to eat. I mean, it's an herb, so it's gonna do a lot of really good things on the inside, and I feel like anything that's good for the inside is also gonna be good for the outside.
Okay.
So we're gonna also get this parsley
We're just boiling everything.
We're basically gonna boil everything.
As soon as that one went over, he was probably quite frustrated that he couldn't score from that, because it was a good opportunity. Normally he gets those a lot closer.
He certainly does, but just the signs that Manchester City are starting to create a few more chances in this second half. Navas driving forward, he's got Zabaleta overlapping, he chooses to use the Argentinian now, he's about level with the 18-yard box, plays it infield now towards Silva, who breaks down the right-hand channel. Good challenge from Gibson to win the ball back, and he picks out Darun with his tackle come past. Darun finds Friend, who's very composed in the left-back position, links up with Downing, who wins his side a throw-in just outside the penalty box. Confident play there from Middlesbrough. We're taking 1 or 2 chances, but when it comes off, it does look quite impressive, as George Friend now will take the latest Middlesbrough throw-in on the far side. It's got quite a long throw, George Friend, if memory serves, so he might look to try and get this up towards the halfway line. This one's a little bit shorter into Downing, who flicks it on, but only to Zabaleta. Gibson then heads the ball up towards the halfway line for Middlesbrough, forcing Manchester City to turn and come again. But just a sign that the pattern of the game over the last 5 minutes is starting to go back to what it was in the first half.
It certainly is, Tom. Yeah, at the moment, Man City are doing all the pressing, all the possession, and Borough pretty much exclusively sat back in their own half, with the exception of Negredo waiting on the halfway line. But there's another good chance now for Navas down the right-hand side.
Yeah, Navas tries to shift it onto his right foot. Friend stands him up well. Good block initially, then he puts a challenge in, but Navas has came away with the ball. He's crossed into the box, headed away by Gibson. Forshaw, edge of the Middlesbrough penalty area, he takes no chances. He sends it long and high into the Manchester City half, but there's not a Middlesbrough player in a red shirt within 30-40 yards of that clearance, so it's just going to come back again from the visitors' point of view. City can build from the back. De Bruyne into the feet of Clichy. Clichy across to Fernandinho, who's had so much time on the ball all game long. Fernandinho. Zabaleta now across to Navas. Navas infield to Fernandinho once again. It's a flat 5 and a flat 4 blocking his way in red shirt, so he goes left to Clichy. Clichy looks down the left-hand side. Good ball into De Bruyne. Crossing position for Kevin De Bruyne. He's got Barragan for company. Goes back out towards Clichy. Manchester City come again. Fernandinho takes half a chance, and he's rather fortunate to win a free kick there off Martin Darun. He takes it quickly, not letting Middlesbrough settle too quickly, though, from the referee's point of view.
Was too quick from Kevin Friend's point of view. He felt that there were just too many Borough players still getting back into position.
Yeah, certainly. Pablo Zabaleta. Zabaleta back in field now to that man Fernandinho once again. He allows Silva to take over the baton. There's a man free out wide, but poor ball from David Silva blocked away by Stuart Downing. And yeah, the game's almost at a walking pace, but being played right in front of the Middlesbrough penalty box. It's slightly strange at the moment. Clichy gets involved. Zabaleta's made a darting run. Clichy tries to pick out his fellow fullback. Friend spotted the danger though, and now Middlesbrough can bring it away. And now I can hand you over to Paul to take you through to full time.
Thank you very much, Tom, and we'll see if Borough can carry on this attack, because they've got the ball up to the halfway line, and then Negredo goes down. He was brought down by Fernandinho. It was Friend that got the ball to Negredo, and let's just see as Negredo gets away from Stones. I mean, all that Fernandinho does is he stood behind Negredo, and then Negredo catches Fernandinho's foot as he tries to play the ball himself. But it is a free kick. Borough have taken it quickly. They've switched play to the right-hand side now for Barragan. He's under pressure though, and eventually his pass deflects off Kevin De Bruyne, and it's going to be a throw-on to Middlesbrough on the right-hand side. Still a long way from Manchester City's penalty area, but it's now been left with Barragan. Takes the throw-on quickly towards towards Darun. Darun was dispossessed though by Clichy, who clears it down the left-hand side, but that goes straight out, so it's going to be a Middlesbrough throw. Chance now for Borough to try and keep this possession. As Tom was saying, the last 6 or 7 minutes has been returning to type as far as the style of play was concerned. It was Man City all over Middlesbrough, inside the Middlesbrough half. I'm sure Aitor Karanka's men will like to do whatever they can to try and break that trend. It goes back now with Barragan towards the halfway line. Strong header from Gibson, but that was straight to Fernandinho. Now it's picked up by Navas on the halfway line. Plays it to Silva. Silva.
Here at UCL, we study how the healthy brain supports behaviour.
Have the ball back here on the halfway line with Adam Forshaw. Skips away from Silva. Does he keep it in play? No, he doesn't. It's unlucky there, Adam Forshaw. He did well to stay on his feet, but just couldn't quite keep the ball inside the touchline. And we're going to see a change for City anytime soon. Nolito getting ready to come on.
Yeah, Nolito, he's usually got a goal in his locker, hasn't he? If he starts or comes on as a substitute, he's certainly a bit of a potent goal threat. I'd expect probably Jesus Navas will be the man to go off. A different kind of wide man, a different kind of proposition for the Borough defence. Incidentally, Sunderland, despite being down to 10 men, now lead Bournemouth 2-1 away at the Vitality Stadium.
Well, so guess what our colleague was saying earlier was true, that Sunderland did look better in that game. West Ham still leading Stoke by a goal to nil. It's still 2-1 to Burnley against Palace. But as we said, Sunderland are down to 10 men and they're 2-1 up at the Vitality. This could be a big day for the Black Cats if they can hold on to that win. Certainly David Moyes looked to be under pressure already. Getting back to action here at the Etihad. It's Man City in possession on the halfway line. Kolarov goes to Fernandinho, who is dispossessed. There's no foul, and Borough now have a chance to push forward here with Adam Clayton. He goes short towards the left-hand side for Stuart Downing. Friend has gone on the overlap. Downing shoots himself. That was probably the wrong option, really, from Stuart Downing. His shot goes quite a bit wide in the end.
Yeah, as you say, probably the wrong choice from Downing, who's not had the best games out there. He's done a good bit of disciplined work defensively, but hasn't really been able to start any springboard any attacks from Middlesbrough, and a bit of a wasted effort on goal, always going wide of the target. Manchester City, there was a foul in the midst of all that. Fernandinho looked like he brought down De Bruyne. I think the referee's just having a word with him, though.
Well, Negredo counted 3 to the referee. Then the referee goes towards Fernandinho. He shows him a 3 as well, as obviously it's the number of fouls that referee has spotted from Fernandinho, and I think he's telling him that you will not get away with your fourth. Your fourth is going to be a yellow card, regardless of what kind of foul it's going to be. Manchester City now make that change, and it's going to be Ilkay Gundogan to come off, and it's going to be Nolito to come on.
Yeah, on paper that certainly looks an attacking change.
Certainly does, yeah.
It? We thought maybe a like-for-like replacement in terms of positions with someone like Jesus Navas coming off. Even David Silva or Kevin De Bruyne might have been in there. But yeah, it's Gundogan to go off and Nolito to come on. So that probably says that Pep Guardiola, not content with this 1-0, he wants to finish this game off as soon as possible.
I think he realises that City's best chance to cause Borough problems is when they have possession and they're pushing at Borough. I think that he accepts the fact that in this second half, Man City just haven't been as ruthless and as clinical in possession as they were in the first. And that's something that I'm sure he would like them to just put just to wrap the game up. Really, a second goal here for Manchester City would give them the 3 points without a doubt. But as it stands, it is only 1-0, and Borough will still believe that they can get a point back in this game. Ball over on the left-hand side now with Gael Clichy. It's the ball forward to Aguero, who was fouled there on the half.
Here at UCL, we study how the healthy brain supports.
But in fairness, I think Callum Chambers and Ben Gibson have actually done a decent job handling, for want of a better expression, Sergio Aguero. They've really kept him in check. Yes, Aguero has scored the goal of the game, but I think defensively Middlesbrough have been sound, and I think those two have really driven it from the central positions.
Absolutely. We just saw the assistant there, Steve Agnew, for Middlesbrough, just calling over to one of the substitutes to come back towards the bench. We'll just have a look at the Borough bench in a moment once we see the end of this City attack. It's Zabaleta now goes short towards De Bruyne. Now it's Fernandinho. Still a long way out from Middlesbrough's goal, though. It's now with Clichy, and he plays it square to Fernandinho. Nice step over from Fernandinho. He puts the ball down this left-hand side. It's out for a goal kick. So it's Fabio and Espinosa and Leadbitter and Fisher, Stuani, Nugent and goalkeeper Guzan. So they've got options in all positions as well there, Borough.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they don't look to bring someone like Stuani on, perhaps even David Nugent for the latter exchanges. I mentioned Stuart Downing hasn't really been his game today, and perhaps bringing out someone on with a little bit more of a goal threat, that could be an option. And also someone who can get a little bit more support up to Alvaro Negredo, who continues to look very isolated.
He does. Even when Borough have looked good in the second half, there's still not been too much getting through to poor Alvaro Negredo. Really has been isolated. And now it's with Traoré. He goes back towards the halfway line for Barragan. But now a long ball played all the way back towards Victor Valdez. From Negredo, in fact. I'm not really sure what he was trying to do there, but Valdez just plays it straight back to him. Negredo one touch towards Traoré. Traoré then back to Negredo, who actually skips away from Kolarov, but in the meantime the ball's gone a little bit further wide. So here it comes Negredo, now puts the ball into the penalty. Oh, and it was a very good ball as well. And I think it was that Adam Forshaw coming in to have a shot. It was an excellent challenge from John Stones. Had he not put that slide tackle in, then Borough could have been level there.
That's a really, really crucial challenge from John Stones. Great play from Negredo, persistence down the right-hand side. Cross takes a deflection. It looks like it's spinning towards Forshaw, who's making a good run into the box, but Stones read the danger really well. Long, outstretched leg, and just about a full stretch, he gets the vital touch on the ball to deflect it to safety.
He does. It was a decent look, and now it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. Still got a long way out from goal. But we're going to see this change for Borough as well now. Looks like Victor Fisher is getting ready to come on, and he'll be coming on for Stuart Downing.
Yeah, Fisher, another one of the attacking players. I didn't quite include him with Stuani and Nugent, but he can come on and play in those wide areas, and just fresh legs in the final third as well. As mentioned, Downing was probably the obvious change to make. Fisher hasn't really figured too much since joining Middlesbrough in the summer, so it'll be interesting to see if he can almost introduce himself to the Borough fans in the closing exchanges.
Oh, you'll certainly remember him if he does. If he scores an equaliser here, but they need to be careful now, Borough, because here comes City on the attack with a strike from Silva, which takes a big deflection on the way and goes out for a throw to Manchester City here on the left-hand side. Left by Nolito, and this is going to be Gael Clichy to take the throw for City. Goes back in towards Fernandinho. And Fernandinho decides to shoot, and it's well, he certainly put his foot through that one, Fernandinho. That really was the laces shot, but it was always swerving wide.
Yeah, he's had a couple of sighters, hasn't he, in the game, and he is capable of shooting from range, and Middlesbrough didn't really close him down. He fought why not, but always arcing away from the target. And yeah, it's been a strange one for Manchester City. On paper, they've dominated the game. We've referred to that on numerous occasions. But if you look at the out-and-out chances they created, yes, they've got the goal. But apart from that, it hasn't been too creative.
What have they done in the second half as well? That's the question. Because in the first half, I mean, attempts we'd see there, 22 from Manchester City, 4 from Middlesbrough. Shots on target, 7-2. So that actually hasn't changed since the start of the second half. Since after about 52 minutes, I think we saw a stat which had those numbers up. So City have had, I think, 2 more shots off target since then, but no more on target. And Borough, of course, had those 2 shots on target, one after another, really. And they've not really threatened Valdez, not really threatened Bravo since then. The ball's back on the halfway line now with Clichy. He plays it back in towards Stones. Now it's Kolarov. Sometimes centre-back, sometimes left-back this afternoon. Kolarov plays it forward to Nolito. Now they're claiming a handball there, City, and the referee thought about it for a second. I don't know if he's heard something in his earpiece, but he decides it was a handball as well.
Yeah, definitely it's the hands of Adama Traoré. I don't think it was that deliberate from Traoré. He can't really move them out the way, but he does stop
Yes,
Nolito.
Exactly. I'm with you 100% there. He does.
Hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side. Said, hey honey, take a walk on the wild side. Do 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 do.
Building websites can be exhausting and very complex. It doesn't have to be. At One.com, you will create a stunning website, which does not require